Hi and welcome to my channel. So we're going to be talking about the UK government's recent changes or not to international students bringing their dependents to the UK or in fact coming to the UK themselves. So this is something that is really hot in the news right now. There's a lot of talk about it, and so understandably so many people have been concerned, and I've received lots of emails and questions in the last few days regarding this, which is why I'm doing this video. So I'm going to talk about what have they actually agreed so far? What are they still discussing? What is still under consideration? What are the options for you if you're a student right now in the UK? Most importantly, what are the options for you if you're still out of the UK, planning to move to the UK, obviously, as a student? And most importantly, dependents. If you're in the UK as a dependent of a student, what is your fate? If you're out of the UK, wanting to come here, with your family, what should you be considering? So obviously, if you're new to my channel, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you already know I appreciate your time. And if you're new here, I do have a free newsletter where I send information about, visa sponsorship opportunities in the UK, work from home jobs, career progression, which is something that I'm particularly passionate about, as well as side business ideas that you can start in the UK so that you can earn more money and leave the rat race. Because truth be told, we struggle about we struggle with studying in the UK, getting all these jobs, which are, by the way, very low paid. And so I'm very passionate about progressing in your career so that you can earn a lot more, start your own side business, and leave the rat race so that once you've got your documents, because I understand that, all these visas and all these documents, that's what keeps many of us in all the low paying jobs. So if you check the comment section below, you're going to see a link to my newsletter. Once you join that newsletter, then I send that info directly to your inbox every single time that there's anything new in the UK, so that you're never reliant on the YouTube algorithm to decide what should I do, what's going on in the UK, how do I find out, and all of that. So check the comment section below. It won't take you up to 20 seconds to join. All you need to do is drop your name and your email, and you're part of that newsletter. So what is really happening with the dependents visa in the UK? And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you do want to hit subscribe right now. Turn on that notification button so you're the first person to be notified every single time when I drop a new video on here on YouTube. So what is really going on with this dependent visa? The truth about the matter is that you do have some, you've got part of the government that wants a stop to student visas, but most importantly, they want a reduction in the number of dependents that are coming. You've also got some government ministers and advisors that are saying that international students right now are bringing more in the UK than they take out, which means that the latest data actually confirms that international students, in the last 12 months have brought in a whopping 42 billion pounds to the UK economy. Obviously, because you've got the highest number of students coming now than ever before in the history of this country, this means that they have also brought in a lot of money. And universities are so happy with how many international students are getting. So universities, that's UK universities, are arguing that the government must maintain things and keep everything the way it is because it's working perfectly for them. But there's one thing that universities are not happy about, which I'm going to tell you as I go on in this video, so that you can make your own minds. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're thinking of studying in the UK, which course are you planning to study? Because the course that you choose to study in the UK is going to be one of the most important decisions that you can make. There are some courses that are not worth studying. Let me say that. Not worth it at all. You should never consider those courses. And sadly, most of the international students studying in the UK are studying these courses that are not really worth it, if I can permit myself to say that. So if you're keen on studying, leave a comment in the comment section below. Which course are you considering to study? Have you already applied? Are you planning to bring your dependents? What are your plans upon successful completion of that course? Because that is one of the most important things. Do you plan to remain in the UK once you've finished studying, or do you plan to leave the UK? That should be what is helping you to decide which course you choose to study. So leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're currently a student in the UK or dependent, also leave a comment and say which course are you studying. Have you got any challenges? Have you got a job? Do you plan to remain in the UK? Do you not? What really is the situation? And by the way, if you're new here and you're wondering who I am, so my name's Melvis. I currently work, as an advanced nurse practitioner for the NHS. So I live here in England myself. I also studied nursing in the UK as an international student. So I've gone through all these challenges of not knowing what tomorrow holds. You're studying now, what else, what next, and all of that. And one thing that I'm passionate about is career progression, because the only reason I moved to the UK was because I wanted to progress in my career. I wanted to get to the most senior nursing position, clinical nursing, which is advanced nurse practitioner. That's what I do now. So I have a private career coaching program where I support nurses, carers, students, student nurses, prospective student nurses, and anyone that is looking for UK visa sponsorship. Obviously, if you're willing to do the work and apply for jobs, you need guidance with the process. You need support with that journey, then consider joining my private coaching program, which you can find a link to in the description box below or the about section of this YouTube channel, so that we can get started. So I can support you with, how do you apply for those visa sponsorship jobs? Which are the jobs that offer visa sponsorship with the best opportunities? Because look, it's not only about moving to the UK, it's positioning yourself for success so that by the time you move to the UK, or if you're already in the UK, then you're going for the best employers. Because look, it's not just about getting any UK employer. So I'll support you with that CV, writing. How should you position yourself? Interview preparation, career progression opportunities. What else is out there for you? What should you be considering? The whole shebang. So I'm looking forward, obviously, to seeing you in this program. And if you're watching this video, then yes, that program is going to be 100% perfect for you. So, like I was saying, this dependent visa situation, what is going on? So, what the government has not agreed on is who they should stop from bringing dependents. But the kind of overall majority, as of everything that is going on now, is that they only want master students who are studying a course that is at least 2 years to be able to bring their dependents. So that's what is under debate. It has not been agreed. They have not finalized it. But what they're saying is, if any international students should be bringing dependents, we should only consider people who are studying a master's course that is, at least 2 years. Because the whole point is, if you're studying a master's course that is only 1 year, which is technically 9 months, then you can do without your family. Because if you study in the UK for those 9 months, then you can go back home to your home country, wherever you've come from. And so 9 months is not a long time to be away from your family. Because remember, the whole point of a dependent visa is to keep families together. So if you're coming to the UK for a short period of time, why should you have to bring your family as well? That's the first consideration that they're having. The next one is that only PhD students should be able to bring their dependents to the UK, which means that if you're not studying for PhD, you will not be able to bring your family. Again, many PhDs are about 3 years or so. So that's the argument, obviously, that they have. But obviously, very few people are studying for PhD compared to, say, master's programs. So again, that is another consideration that they're having. Again, this has not been finalized. It has not been agreed. Another point that the government is also considering is that only people who are studying courses that the UK needs should be able to bring dependents to the UK, which means that if you're studying a course like nursing, for example, no bias at all, but we all know that the UK is desperate for nurses. So it is no surprise that nursing is one of those courses, which means if you're studying a course like nursing, medicine, engineering, those courses that the UK really needs, then they only want to allow those people on such courses to be able to bring dependents. Because again, the ministers are saying if people are studying courses that our country does not want, that our country does not need, which means that we're not going to keep them in the UK once they complete the course anyway. So what is the point letting these people come with dependents to the UK? Again, you can see the point, which means that if you're watching this and you have not yet applied to study in the UK, you're planning to come to the UK via the student route, you should be very strategic, when you're choosing the course that you're studying. I've always said this because there are many courses in the UK that are not worth it. And when you look at how much we are having to pay as international students to study in this country, I ask myself, why are we still studying these courses? We know that the courses are not worth it. The universities themselves have said that those courses are not worth it. But yet, we are still there studying those courses. So again, I don't know, it is what it is, each to their own. Everybody can make their own choices, but the truth is, these are some of the considerations that the government is making. And so I did say that I'm going to say something about what the universities are actually considering themselves. So until a few years ago, you had to definitely 100% complete your course before you could apply for jobs in the UK, like for work visas. But a while ago, because of the shortage, obviously, in, jobs and carers and all of that, they decided that people can switch if they get a job, which means that the universities are saying that they should stop international students from switching their student visa to a work visa before they complete the course. And the reason for this is that many of these universities are losing money because, as you know, running a university is a business. Universities are not there to support you to settle in the UK. That's not the point, which again leads us beautifully to the next point that the ministers are arguing about. And by the way, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to my channel, you just want to hit that subscribe button. If you're enjoying this content, I want you to like the video. It lets me know that you're enjoying content like this. And obviously, if you know anybody that can benefit from this, please do feel free to share with them so that they're aware of these changes. And if they're still out of the UK or in the UK considering a course, this information should guide them, should lead them on the types of courses and the choices that they should be making at this particular time. Because look, studying in the UK and excelling in the UK is not about your passion. It's not about what you want. If you need visa sponsorship, you need to gravitate your choices towards those things that are going to offer you visa sponsorship. Because no matter how good you are at what you do, if you need visa sponsorship and it does not offer visa sponsorship, it's going to get you nowhere. Otherwise, you have to consider other options, remain in low paying jobs. It is not worth it after paying those ridiculously high amounts to study in this country. So again, like we were saying, these are some of the considerations obviously that the government is having. So when you're choosing your course, you need to be really careful. You need to be very strategic. You need to make sure that that course is on the shortage occupation list. That is one of the things that you can consider. If that course can lead you to a job on the shortage occupation list, that is a very good sign that it is a course that is worth your time. So again, these are all considerations. The government has not approved any of these changes, but they are seriously working on them. And let me tell you, the government is very torn because they want the money that international students are bringing, but they don't want the people that are coming. That's the reality about it, because they don't want immigrants basically, but the immigrants are bringing in a lot of money. So they are now torn as to what exactly should we do. So again, I hope that you found this helpful. I've done all sorts of videos on here about visa sponsorship opportunities in the UK, the different visas that are offering sponsorship, to get those jobs, obviously absolutely free. The NHS, which is my all-time favorite because of career progression opportunities again. So if you need support with any of these, again, consider checking out my private coaching program, which is called Nursing Career Bootcamp. But obviously, is for those healthcare and non-healthcare related jobs, but most importantly, career progression here in the UK. So you're a carer, for example, you're trying to transition into nursing. Maybe you're an overseas nurse back home or midwife, and now in the UK, you're thinking to yourself, what should I do? Or you're watching this and you're not in healthcare, and you're thinking, Melvis, with the opportunities in healthcare, how can I get started? What's the best course for me? How do I proceed? How do I get into nursing, for example? Then I can support you with all of that journey to make sure that you're making the best decisions for yourself so that you are always 10 steps ahead of the game. Because the truth is, if you don't understand the pathways in the UK, if you don't know the best way to proceed, it can be incredibly, incredibly challenging, not only for yourself, but for you and for your dependents as well. So this is not a situation where you want to be in. Again, if you check the comment section below, you can join my newsletter. It's completely free. I send that information to your inbox when there are any changes. If any of these changes are actually implemented or confirmed, because like I say, it is a top government priority right now and something that they are seriously discussing. And hopefully in the next days to weeks, we should know exactly what the outcome is and what the decision is so that you can begin to make your own plans accordingly. I hope you found this helpful. Obviously, I'll see you in the next video.